Hello, today I'm going to be showing you Enoch Petrucelly's Cleansing Rite of the Goddess, which is a variant of the LBRP from this book here, the Book of Soul Retrieval. So what you're going to be doing here is just follow along here. You're going to be tracing a horn pentagram with two horns up in the four directions. Isis, Hathor, Hecate, and Astarte are the four winds, the four directions in this ritual. Step 1, face east with your athame. If you do not have one, you can just take your two fingers and make this. Face east with your athame in your hand, be ready, which I'm already facing east. Now trace the first pentagram, visualizing it glowing you before you like a neon sign. Let the color be whatever your imagination gravitates to. Now point to the center of the pentagram with your athame and tone the words Ziti-re 3 times. Ziti-re, Ziti-re. By the light of Isis, guardian of the land of Chem, let my spirit, mind, and body be defended from all evil will. See Isis now descending from above with the scepter in hand, her wings fully outspread. She lands directly in front of you, turns towards the east, and then away from you, warding off all evil from you and your space with her magic, her wings, and her scepter. Feel her fierce presence, fully deflecting your enemy's advance, and bolts of lightning flash from the clouds above. Now we're going to turn left to the northern direction. Another horned pentagram. Vida iti faoi. Vida iti faoi. Vida iti faoi. Thou radiant essence of Hathor, my spirit be uplifted and made whole. See a massive blue and gray whirlwind of Hathor's power come rushing to encircle you and your aura. Hathor's power uplifts you, removes negative energies, and heals you and restores your aura. In my personal experience, I usually see Hathor with a lady with a bull's head or a cow's head on there, like a female sabbatic goat or a female cow. And when I've seen her, she's usually pulling a chariot by bulls. There's storm clouds, there's winds rushing behind her. Step 3, we're going to turn now to the west. Gahi Hakui Oivi. Gahi Hakui Oivi. Gahi Hakui Oivi. By the night side powers of Hecate, the primal void of the dragon, let my being be cleansed in power. Vision Hecate coming forth from the abyss, dressed in traditional Greek garments, her pale skin with jet black hair. She cuts through all negative bindings and frees you from heavy emotional burdens. See her four black jaguars, panthers surround you and free you from all fears and anxieties. This one is the most powerful set from my experience. When she comes to me, I usually see her with piercing green eyes. She comes with a little hand scythe or sickle in each hand. And when I did this, the to where she'd come and she'd just hack and slash through my body, but it wouldn't hurt me. It would cut off all the toxic shit and all like the Rob fucking shit off of me. And even better yet, a couple of times I've seen her Black Panthers mauling Rob on the floor right next to me, mauling my abuser, gaslighter, attacker. So I see Rob on the floor. He's all getting all fucked up by the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers are ripping his ass apart. When you see that, it usually means that you're under attack. That you have an enemy, and or Black Panthers are already going to work and fucking up your enemies. The fourth and final step, we're going to face the south now. Ebafai Dumafe. Ebafai Dumafe. Ebafai Dumafe. By the will of Astarte, may my path be clear and my vision sure. See Astarte come from the south in the fiery flash of light. Take a moment to allow her to impart you with her blessings and powers of clarity. She will often reveal obstacles and enemies in your path. So, she usually comes to me. She is a warrior with a shield and a sword, flowing red hair. Storms, thunderbolts, lightning. That would make a lot of sense. Because she is the husband. She is the wife. She is the wife and consort to the storm deity Set or Baal. You know, the agrarian fertility deity and storm deity. So there's storms and lightning flashes behind her. A couple of times she intervenes, and I've seen her fuck shit up. Like, I've seen her like kill enemies and just kill shit around me. So just like with the Kate, when you see that, it usually means that you have an enemy who's been attacking you or cursing you or casting on you, and this is their way of communicating to your mind that they're already getting to work on your enemies. They're getting to work repelling attacks. If you have someone like, it was like Rob, who's like really bad, like really fucking you up, there, that's going to reflect in the visualizations. It's going to reflect in what you see in your mind's eye in this ritual. The final step here: stand facing east with arms raised, outstretched from the side, facing the north and south, saying, "Before me, Aset Sekhmet. Behind me, Babylon Hecate. At my right, Venus Inanna. At my left, Het-Heru Isis. For about me shines the pentagrams, and within burns the heart of the radiant goddess for all time." That is the ritual, and of course I always like to add there, it's very important. I am now fiercely protected, for now and forever, for all time. This protection I request be at the level of the soul. From now and forever I will this so. Amen. That fourth final step there, you are telling your own soul that you are fiercely, holocaustically protected. And you want this to be continuous. You don't want this to just be, now you want this to be continuous. And every time that you do this, if you do this daily, if you do this weekly, the more that you do this, there, it's going to densify and concretize. It's going to crystallize and get even stronger and stronger. So it's very important that you request that you want this protection at the level of your soul, and you want this to be a continuous protection. Some other really cool things about the Book of Soul Retrieval there. Enoch Petrucelly has some experience with some of the enemies there, some of the fucking astral suckers and parasites. He has a lot of experience there. I'm not going to share his story there. If you want, you can just watch his YouTube channel, or you can just ask him yourself there. But this book is all about removing astral parasites. I'm just I'm just flipping through pages and randomly reading. It is my will to be protected from harmful and intrusive energies, psychic and physical attacks, energy loss and leakage, frequency control, astral hooks, psychic vampirism, curses, hexes, bindings, mental and emotional manipulation, blank slate technologies, mind control, implants, archons, and astral parasites. Or if you wish, you may simply say, it is my will to be protected from all negativity and harm. Chapter 3, Enemies. Remember when I said there are outside influences you'll have to tackle if you want to grow beyond basics. This is where I tell you what these are. First, we will start with the less threatening ones, and I will describe the more powerful and hard to get rid of influences you'll need to contend with. Common intrusive energy. For starters, there are many smaller energy draining astral parasites out there that you must protect yourself from. These usually appear in the mind's eye as a rodent, rat, or other creeper, or various types of insects. At times, they appear as a formless blob of energy. They are often man-made thought forms gone awry. All astral parasitic energies feed on low frequency emotions and feelings. Because of this, they do everything they can to exacerbate negative emotion or feeling that the person may have. They look for weakness, fears, doubts, pain in the body, depression, you name it. Any emotion feeling that is low frequency and causing you to suffer. As a Reiki master and chi energy healer, I find these astral parasites lodged in the energy bodies of my clientele often, and even in my own energy body at times. They are easily removed once you place attention on them and realize their presence. Usually, the energy body has been damaged and needs healing, repairing after removal of such an entity, though. If you are suffering from unexplainable non-stop anxiety and depression, I personally uh, do not recommend taking pills or getting therapy before you check your energy body for these entities and learn steps of energy management. If your symptoms are energetic, you'll feel better almost immediately after you do the energy management work. If you do not feel better, there is more to be learned still before resorting to being on medication for the rest of your life. Please continue step by step through this book. Okay. Archons. The next on our list of astral parasites was commonly known as the Archon type parasites. These known are the Archons because they fit the description of certain beings in Gnostic scriptures and texts. I am not trying to creep you out, but you must be aware of your enemies, and you will have trouble in your spiritual growth process. These enemies are there no matter how much you focus on love and light. They will continue to prey on you while you are sleeping. I mean this and literally and metaphorically, just to clarify. There are a few types I've come across in my own growth. I'll explain one by one. The drone arachnid type. These suckers are what you will most commonly find draining while you're sleeping. They look like big, flat, black or gray spiders. I remember the first time I found one on me as a child. I awoke and sat up in bed. My astral vision was still on. It came from the corner of my bed and crawled up my arm. It was a huge spider shape. I was terrified and screamed for my mother. When she arrived, the drone vanished because I was fully awake, and by the time mother was holding me, just a bad dream, she said. I wish that were true. These entities seem to be more prevalent than ever today, crawling all over their sleeping prey. Perhaps they are part of the reason that people have such a hard time sleeping at night and why they feel so tired the next day. Drone-type archons such as these will often enter your dream plane and directly penetrate your astral body. The most common area that penetrate in my experience is the heart center, creating jealousy, hatred, envy, and any other heart-related emotional issue possible in dayside reality. For example, you may feel insecure in your relationship no matter what because they are stuck inside your body creating these feelings and feeding on you. If you had a dream of a large black spider pouncing on you and burning into you, then you may be a victim of this arachnid-type archon. The floating type with tendrils, these are also very common and look like a big flat black or gray floating squid with tendrils used to pierce your body and pierce your aura and suck your energy. They do not burrow into you, they float beside or above. They hook into your aura or energy with a tendril. These are quite prevalent in daily life. This is why I included astral hooks in the shielding statement of the energy management section of this book. This may come in organic form or machine-like or inorganic form. 3. The humanoid type. With tendrils, these particular archon-type parasites have arms and legs and look human-shaped. They have tendrils all over their bodies and slither around them looking to feed. They also have the ability to speak in English. Most commonly threatening words, and you realize that they are present. Their voices are raspy, gurgly, and frightening. They are not as common, but will show up once you kick out their inferiors or drones. They look organic so far I've seen. I will show how to deal with these beings. Unfortunately, they are not as easy to get rid of as other parasites that are around. They require the use of powerful magic to break free of them with finality. And there's a fourth one. There's a spinal implant type. This is where shit gets real disturbing. These entities legit hack your brain and vital energy system, implanting themselves into your spinal cord and central nervous system, which is what Rob was trying to do to me. And he was gaslighting me, saying that I had these parasites, which is partially true. But what he didn't say, the lie by omission, was that they were coming from him. And Rob would try to convince me and gaslight me that it was my practice, that it was my gods that were creating these things, or my gods that were putting these things on me. No, it was Rob. It was fucking Rob all along. And the previous one, the humanoid type one, there is these things can completely take over a person. There are literal like meat puppets, literal fucking meat puppets. They're completely overtaken by these fucking things. Continue on. These entities legit hack your brain and energy system by planting themselves in your spinal cord and central nervous system, primarily filter out their detection from your awareness. I mean this in the astral sense only for those who may take this out of context. They keep you asleep like a good sheep. Disgusting to think about, really. I have specific ways to rid them from your body and mind completely. They can literally wipe your thoughts of their existence. They take your attention off themselves and make you do things. They're all about ego, mind, eat, fuck, sleep. These are the ones responsible for mind control activity. Sounds crazy, I know, but it will not hurt to try to clear yourself of them, whether you believe that they are real or not. Personally, I did a cursing rite to rid them of my mind. And the same night after falling asleep, I saw them in my dream getting pulled out of my brainstem of my subtle body. It was supremely disturbing. I am super happy to have my mind wide awake and in my own control. I will go into detail later on how you can do the same if you wish. One final thing you should know about is the Archon-type parasites. They are expert mimics. If you have your mind's eye open, as many people these days, they will mimic the image or voice of another magician. Oh, hell yes. I've had this a million times. I've had a million fucking thoughts that were in the voice of other practitioners, of other occultists. That were not my own thoughts, and they were saying shit that these other practitioners would never fucking say. That's how you know for certain that you gotta fucking mimic there. It's that they'll impersonate other fucking occultists and other fucking magicians. Magician or witch, image or voice of another magician or witch and try to trick you into believing that they are psychically or magically attacking you. Oh hell yes. Often they succeed in getting the allies of friends to curse each other, and that's what they do. They gaslight practitioners, and they'll get practitioners to curse each other. I hope my fellow magicians and witches out there will read this and see that we are not each other's enemies. I urge other witches and magicians and make sure they are free of archonic parasitic influences. If you wish to use a curse on something, then it is open season on all the archons. These astral suckers have been eating human energy for a long time, and it's time we fought back. I urge you to curse these parasites who are feeding on you, your family, and friends. Archons will also try to mimic the telepathic ability of loved ones as well, to stir up trouble and negativity in order to destroy harmony. They do this so they can feed. So what he's describing there is in the Mexican, um, Latin American, uh, Latino and Latin American Mexican mythology called the La Chauza. And what this is a little parasite. This is a gaslighter, and what it does, it'll go between the father and the son, or between the father and the daughter, between the daughter and the sister and the mother, and it will gaslight each Member one, gaslight each members of the family. It'll just say shit that try to impersonate or say shit that that is out of character that the father would like never do. It'd be like, hey, um, little Johnny, your father hates you or some shit like that. When really the father doesn't hate him, the father loves him, and it'd say your son is causing trouble in school, and they would do everything it can to triangulate and get members of the family to raise hands and to fight and argue with one another, and it feeds off that fucking hostility. Continuing on, I do want to make sure the reader understands these spirits are not daemons. Daemons are not what you've been taught if you're new to magical practice. They're like you and me. They are like people. Some are good, some are not. Some are good, some are not helpful. I have honestly learned more from daemons than I ever could from any angelic force. If it were not for the wisdom of the daemonic, I would still be a mindless victim of circumstance. I have to thank them for my freedoms, my health and well-being, specifically the Egyptian gods, goddesses Neteru, and the archdemons of the Qliphoth, and the daemon king Azazel. Their help has led to the writing of this book, and if you trust me in them, you will be helped as well. The following sketches are of different archon types that I and my sibling Sarah have encountered. So, very disturbing. If this is what these fuckers look like there. If you don't want to look at them, you can stop the video now. There, I'm gonna end the video soon anyway. So these are pretty fucking creepy. These are the arachnid and the drone type. I had experience with the drones. Now these things have their own fucking rank as well. Like usually the drone or the squid. If you see a drone or a squid here, if a drone or a squid is like wearing an executioner's hood, that means it's a higher level rank. That means it's a ringleader parasite and has other fucking parasites below it. There, that's really bad news. Doesn't mean you can't get rid of them. Oh, you can easily get rid of them. Do not be afraid of these things. You should not, and do not need to be afraid of these fuckers, because our gods, both the day side and the night side, both the celestial and infernal force, are at war with these fucking things. And if there ever truly was a Christian devil or a Christian Satan who was as evil and as horrible as the Christians and Muslims say, these things are it. These fucking things are it. It's these fucking things right here. Um, Now, Rob is one of these things that has an incarnate human form. These humanoid type archons can, if someone has been abused or traumatized enough, they can completely overtake a human. And the highest, most powerful like ringleader parasites like the Russ McCamey, Torture House, SRA Manor is one of these things. My personal abuser and tormentor, Robert Miner, he is definitely one of these things. My witch sister and friend who got SRA'd by Chris Page. Chris Page is one of these fucking things as well. Um, the last I'm really going to say here is that these type of parasites, they're under the direction of the Greys. They're very close to the Greys and other fucking archons, and all that I really know about it, all I can really say is that these are the true rogue Elohim, or the true fallen angels. See, now the demonic, they're Lucifer, Belial, Ashtaroth, the 72 Goetia, and the 44 Verum. They still serve a purpose there. Even though they left heaven of their own volition, they left heaven and they entered the void, they entered the night side, they still serve a purpose, and they still uphold their oaths to the Supreme Creator. They still have to answer the Sorcerer, and they still can teach knowledge and bestow wisdom and still perform exorcisms and things. What these parasites are, they are what Belial calls the twice fallen. What they really are, they're beings who they fell from heaven once. They fell from heaven. They entered the night side. They entered into the kingdom of hell, and then they fucked up a second time. They fucked up in hell. So now they're rejected by both heaven and hell. They're completely on their own fucking side. They fucked up in the courts of the Supreme Creator. They're They may have been benevolent once. They may have even been semi-benevolent demons. They may have been good servants of Belial. They may have been good servants in the night side realm, but they fucked up again, and they broke their oaths to Belial. They broke their oaths to Michael. They broke their oaths to everybody, and they're completely on their own fucking side. This is what we call the True Rogue Elohim, or Belial calls them the Twice Fallen. And this is what makes them so dangerous, because some of those fucking things could have been Goetia, Goetic Knights, could have been archangels at one point, and then Goetia. They could have even been Goetic Knights at one point, and now they're completely stripped of all their power, their legions, and their ranks, but they were not stripped of their memories. And that's what makes them so fucking dangerous. Now, all kinds of like SRA shit, Temple of Blood, which I don't like to call the name, I call it Temple of Blob, is heavily infested with these fucking things. There, the founder of Temple of Blob, there, Joshua Sutter, he is completely overtaken by those fucking things there. In fact, in that particular Order of Nine Angles system of magic there, that is their form of apotheosis, where you completely just destroy your own soul and just make yourself a meat puppet to those fucking things. A lot of SRA, a lot of like child abuse and ritual abuse. Jeffrey Epstein Island is definitely worshiping those fucking things there. The Vatican is heavily invested with those fucking things, and the Vatican worships those fucking things. As I'm talking right now, I'm feeling tingles on my back there, and I'm not trying to give these things any fucking power or recognition. In fact, fuck them. They don't have any fucking power. Their power is a fucking giant gaslight. Their only power and authority is whatever you fucking give to them, because they have no fucking authority. They have no goddamn power. And I'm doing this to empower you. You do not need to be afraid of these fucking things. You do not need to be afraid of these fucking things. You do not need to fear them. In fact, once you realize you get angry and you stand your sovereignty and power, these things get really afraid of you. It's not your fear, it's their fear, because they know they're going to be fucking murdered. They know they're going to be fucking murdered. In fact, Rob was even telling me a partial truth there, even though he was distorting it and shifting it. He said all the fear that I felt wasn't my own fear, it was its fear, meaning the parasite, because in his own words, it knows that I will murder it. No, it was Rob's fear. No, it wasn't my fear, it was Rob's fear, because Rob knew that I could easily and very quickly stomp his fucking ass. And that's what I've done. My magic put Rob back in fucking prison, back in fucking jail. End of story. And he's probably not going to survive. He's probably not going to walk out of that fucking jail. Once you realize once you recognize the symptoms and the signs of these things, they're very easily fucking removed. They're very easily fucking removed. Now, these types of things, they feed off of fear. They feed off horrible acts. They feed off pedophilia. They feed off all that shit. That's why Jeffrey Epstein Island there was doing all those horrible things to kids and cages and everything. That's why, it's just like that fucking movie, Sound of Freedom there. Tim Ballard, he rescued those kids in cages. Why the elite are doing all those horrible fucking things to turn that, because it feeds off that, because these beings are stripped of their power, but not their knowledge, not their memories, and what they're trying to do by feeding off the absolutely like densest, most like lowest and retarded, like sludge like fucking like the sludge of humanity. They're trying to build themselves back up to even a fraction of their power of what they once were. And all the executioner hoods, all the squids and the drones, they worship those things. The Russ McCaney Manor, Ringler Parasite, is one of those things. They worship those fucking things. It is their fucking gods, the truly rogue Elohim. And so what I've done, what I've dedicated my life and my magic to after surviving Rob, is to ending this stupid phony war between heaven and hell, and putting both the celestial and the night side together, get them to set aside their fucking differences for 5 fucking minutes so we can handle the real enemy. The real enemy, which is what Belial calls these twice fallen, or these truly rogue Elohim. Um, the sludge entities, the sludge fucking spirits there. Now, as dark as the clip-off and as bad as the night side is, I mean, it's still the shadow of the day side there. And also too, you have the interesting paradox that all of the light comes from the void, comes from Gunungagat, comes from um, the primal zero, the primal void there. And there are petty pillow fights. There are pillow fights between, Osmodee and Mikael and Belial, but they all do set down their weapons. They answer to Hecate. They answer to the Prime Creator, who's beyond any fucking name, system, paradigm, beyond any god or goddess. There, Hecate is pretty close. Hecate is pretty close, and the Titans, they are pretty close to I don't like to call it Prime Creator because it just implies creator, but I call it the Prime Creator and Prime Instigator, because it's both those things: is Prime Creator, Prime Mover, Night Mover, Prime Creator, and Prime Instigator. It is all those fucking things yet beyond all these fucking things. And heaven and hell do set down their swords, and they do have to answer to this numinous of numinous, the holiest of holies there. And really, Belial isn't the enemy. Samael isn't the enemy. Asmodee isn't the enemy of mankind or enemy of freedom. It's these fucking rogue Elohim. It's these twice fallen, truly rogue Elohim that's on nobody's fucking side, but themselves. They're like the true fucking astral pirates. But once you recognize them, you can fucking very easily cast them the fuck out. You can very easily fucking destroy them. There, very easily fucking destroy them. Very easily cast them the fuck out. One thing that one very good thing that you could do is, if you're a victim of these things or a victim of SRA, is you should absolutely curse your abuser immediately. Okay? Now, I don't fault people who have actually survived this shit and they become like born again Christians or whatever the fuck they're like. It didn't come to the point where I was having like sigils and things like carved in my flesh. It didn't come to the point where I was being like burned and tortured alive and like forced to eat all of these disgusting concoctions or whatever. It didn't come to the fucking point where like with like Chris Page there. I didn't get to that fucking level, but if I stuck around Rob, it could have gotten to that level. It could have fucking gotten to that level very easily had I had not woken up to his game sooner. I mean, some people there need to become born again Christians because it works for them. But what I'm going to say, and all that I'm going to say here, is that if you're just jumping to born again Christianity and you're not handling the abuse, you're not fully healing. Okay, you're not fully healing. You should still curse your abuser. You should still curse the fuck out of your SRA abuser, because what you want to do, that's a violent catharsis, and you're pulling You're pulling their fucking tentacles. You're pulling their shit out of you. It's not about cursing them. It's not about putting them down. Like, yes, you're putting them down. It's for you. It's for fucking you. And that's why Belial was so adamant about me cursing Rob. It wasn't offering or anything for Belial. It was for me. It was for me. He wanted to see me do better. Cain wanted to see me do better. Belial wanted to see me do better. Samael wanted to see me do better. And that's sometimes you have to do that. And Hecate even said, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to really stomp on his soul there, because what you're doing there is not only don't think of it as you're doing this just for yourself, but you're also doing it to protect others. Because if I didn't intervene, if I didn't do my thing and intervene, Rob could find another person with autism, Asperger's, find another person with disabilities, and do even fucking worse than he did to me, and really cause harm. So it is your dharma. It is good karma to curse these fucking SRA abusers, these ritualistic abusers. It is your fucking duty, not only for yourself, but you're protecting others from getting harmed as well. Okay? It's like there's a rabid dog. What do you see when you shoot a rabid raccoon or an animal with fucking rabies? You fucking shoot it. You put it down so it can't spread its fucking AIDS. When a ritual abuser abuse you, you survive them. You need to fucking put them the fuck down by any means necessary. Magical means necessary, if anything. You need to put them the fuck down because they are a threat. They are a fucking threat to others, and they're gonna harm more people and spread their spiritual fucking rabies and AIDS if you don't fucking put your goddamn hoof down. They're gonna harm and harm more. Okay, if someone is really that evil and really that fucking cancerous, you do not need to fear the threefold law of return bullshit. You do not need to fear going to hell for it or whatever the fuck. You do not need to fear getting roasted on Judgment Day or anything. In fact, you'll probably be given praises and blessings on Judgment Day if you do this work, because these fucking monsters are going to continue to harm others and harm innocents if you don't do something about it. And if you just stand by and let these monsters continue their fucking evil, you're complicit. You're enabling them. You're complicit. And I don't know what the fuck you believe, but if there is a judgment day, I don't think there is. I think every individual soul is judged individually by their patrons. I don't think we're all standing in a big fucking like line at a fucking amusement park. Okay, number 26 $1,581,553 there. Tom, step forward. It's time to judge it now. Like I don't think it's like that there, but if something like that does exist, your creator or your patron or whoever spirits are looking after you, they're not going to be fucking too happy with you if you knew that there was a fucking monster out there doing all these horrible things and ruining innocent souls, and you stood by and do nothing. And that was my fucking test there. My biggest fucking test is I had to face my own fears, man up, stop being a child, and fucking raise my ritual machete and swing at fucking Rob. That was my test. It took me 10 years to recognize and pass this test. Be lucky that you're getting this warning and this message right now. Some people learn it in days. Some people learn it in 4 years. Some people learn it 10 years. Some people it takes 20 years to learn this message, or 30 years. Some people never learn this lesson at all, and they die a victim of the narcissistic ritual abuser. It took me 10 years to recognize this asshole and do something about it. I wish it didn't take this long. I still every day have my regrets and wish I had a time machine. I can go back in time and stop myself from ever becoming friends with this Rob motherfucker and just stop myself from ever hanging out with him or ever knowing of this fucking creep there. But it is what it is. The Book of Soul Retrieval. Very, very good book. Highly recommend it. It's not that fucking expensive either. It's like you can get under $20 on Amazon. There's a bunch of rituals book. All these rituals there are about reclaiming your soul, rights of sovereignty, breaking chains, reclaiming your soul, and all this stuff is channeled there. All of this stuff is channel material from Enoch Petrucelly himself there, so you can get these fucking things off you, get them out of your mind, okay? And if that's bad enough where you have like an actual meat puppet like a Robert Miner or a Chris Page in your area, or a Russ McCamey who's actually like a meat puppet for these fucking things and are SRAing, you fucking need to put down the Holocaust hammer and fucking magically stomp their fucking ass. You have to fucking do it. It's your karma. It's your moral fucking duty. Or else more innocents are gonna get fucking hurt. And if you do fucking nothing, then you're fucking complicit. You are fucking complicit. You're fucking complicit. Just like in 2022 when I shared the conjuration of the millstone, even though I'm not a Christian, I'm not a born again Christian there, I still found value in doing Papa Machete's Operation Millstone. I even while I was getting hit by Rob at the time, I still spammed the conjuration of the millstone, and guess what? A local pedophile priest was arrested. I forget the dude's name, but it was some priest from Oneida. He got arrested there. Like I said, you should be doing this type of work. You need to be doing this type of work against these parasites and against these fucking things as much as fucking possible. And the more you do it, it's like exercise. The more your energy shields, your energy bodies are going to get stronger and more resistant to those fucking things too. Stand strong in your fucking power. Do not be afraid of those fucking things. Curse the fuck and stop the fuck out of those fucking things. Do not be afraid of those motherfuckers, okay? Hail Ashtaroth, hail Astarte, hail Isis, hail Cain, and hail Belial. I'll see you in the next one.